Hey team, it's Daniel again with Brazos Valley Boars and Varmits. So today I am doing the full review of the Pulsar Thermion Duo DXP. Now guys, I've had this thing on loan from Paul Tyson over at gearthehunt.com with North Texas Piggin Products. This guy is just downright wonderful. You know, his customer service through his company is great. He is all over replying back to people and getting them the answers of what it is that they're trying to figure out here. And he sells the full lineup of everything that you're going to be looking in this thermal nighttime hunting world. So guys, if you're looking to buy, I would highly suggest that you go over to gearthehunt.com and buy through him, because his follow-up after the sale is great, and then also before the sale, this guy's all over the internet just trying to help people out and help you make the right decision. Now, I'm not being paid by him. He just lets me get to use these things, and then I just get to tell people how wonderful they are, and then also how good of a job Paul Tyson does for this nighttime hunting community. So let's jump right in. Guys, this thing is still on the wall because I'm still using it. I love this scope. It is a workhorse. So let's go ahead and grab it. So guys, this scope is a dream. I love this thing. Now, there are two versions of this. There are the DXP55, which is the one that I have here, and the other version is going to be the 50. Now, there's a lot of things that if you're familiar with the Pulsar world, you probably already know exactly what's going on here. This looks like a Thermion, and that's because it is. And so everything about the Pulsar Thermion XP50 is the exact same stuff that is in here. So then the question is, what's the DXP? And probably if you're already looking for this video, you kind of know what you're getting into. This D stands for Duo, and Duo to dual. The idea behind it is that you are not only getting the thermal sensor that you're used to seeing with the XP50, but you're also getting this sensor right here, which is a 4K digital daytime camera. So you get your nighttime hunting with this one, like we're used to seeing, but you also get digital daytime in 4K. So you have a nighttime and a daytime scope. So guys, let me tell you what I was doing before this thing came out, especially during deer season. I would have to take a rifle that I was using for that hunt and put my daytime scope on it, and then whenever it became nighttime, I would have to take that one off and put on my nighttime scope and then look through it. So I was always carrying two scopes with me every time that I went hunting. And that was pretty standard every deer season. And that's why I love this scope for deer season. I'm not having to carry around two scopes because I have both scopes built into one. And for the walk around on the Thermion, I almost don't even want to do it. I still will, so that way I give you all the full review of this. But if you already know everything about the Thermion, then you know what this is. This one is just going to be an additional benefit that you get on top of having the thermal channel available to you as well. So let's do the full walkthrough. The three most common things that you're going to want to do after turning on your scope are going to be returning the recording on, adjusting the magnification, and then now this one is switch, and that is so you can switch between what channel you're looking at, whether it's the digital daytime or the thermal channel, so you can switch those two around. On some of these, the quick press does one thing, a long press does another thing. Once you get used to running this, it becomes very intuitive. But if you do need to go deeper into the system, on the left-hand side, you have this push button with the wheel, and that's how you go into the full menu, so you can adjust more things that don't need to be done as often, but you may want to get those done initially once you get this set up. Like usual, this has an internal battery, plus this top turret comes off and has your removable battery, so that way you can change this one out on the fly while you're still running the internal after this one goes dead, and you just put a brand new fresh battery in there and then go back to running this one, saving this internal. And so you've got this 2 battery system, which I really love. And then on the other side, which has the logo of what model you're using, this one comes off, and that is how you plug into the computer, or if you're going to be using an auxiliary power pack, anything like that, that's how you get this plugged in here. Moving forward, up here is where your power button is. Also, if you're going to be nuking, that's how you nuke, is by hitting this button. And then ambidextrous fins for focusing your image to get that thing as crisp and clear as you possibly can, because these really do pick up a lot of detail once you get it focused in beautifully. Now you'll see I do have this one in a quick detach mount. That does not come with the scope. You are going to have to buy that separately, but this is a standard 30mm tube. I know this may be a little redundant if you're already used to the Thermion XP50, but let's go through the specs on this. For your thermal sensor, you do have a 640 by 480 sensor, the same one, the classic that we've been used to and love. It has a base magnification of 2.0. It has a 50mm lens and also a 50 hertz refresh rate with a micron of 17 and a millikelvin sensitivity of sub 25. This does have multiple zeros and has audio and video recording all built into it. The battery on this claims that it can run for about 6 hours. And my testing has shown that it's pretty close to accurate, right? And the reason that this is 6 hours instead of the longer times that Pulsar advertises for the standard non-duo, just either going to be your XQ or XP, I mean, really, it's because this is running this extra channel on top of the thermal channel also. And so even though you may not be looking through it, it's still on. It's still being powered. It's still running. It's still there. But that is going to be a power draw. Now, 6 hours, I mean, that's going to get you through plenty of the night. And then, again, doing a battery change on these is super simple, quick, fast, and easy. Okay, guys, let's jump right into this 4K sensor. I would be a little amiss to not bring up the fact that I love digital daytime scopes. I have shown my oldest child getting her first deer with a digital daytime scope. My son, I need to make this video. He got his very first deer this year with a digital daytime scope, but those have a lot larger lens. And so the question that I immediately wanted to know is, how does this little bitty lens do by comparison to those larger lenses that you see made by other manufacturers? And the answer is the clarity is just as beautiful. I mean, it's still a 4K high resolution digital daytime image that you're looking at. And the reason that I chose the 55 over the 50 is because my style of hunting is that I like to have a little bit higher base magnification during deer hunting. And that's because I'm just trying to shoot one deer. If I'm going after pigs, I want that lower base magnification. But for deer hunting, which is the reason that I like the Duo so much, so I've got my thermal for nighttime, my digital daytime for day, and while the deer come out, like that, I want a little bit higher base magnification. And I'm going to come back to this again. So the 55 has a 4.0 base magnification on the daytime channel. Now, the Thermion XP50 that's built in for your thermal channel, that is a 2.0 base power magnification. And if you were to go with the DXP50, it would be that exact same 2 power in both, which honestly looks great, because whenever you switch from your digital to your daytime, or if you do the picture-in-picture and have both of them up there, it's all the exact same base magnification. And so that's wonderful because it all looks seamlessly the same. But you know, I also like to take a little bit of a longer shot sometimes. And if you are going to have to dial up your magnification and you're using digital, then starting off at 4.0, because I'm running the 55 rather than 2.0 if you're running the 50, starting off at twice as high means that I'm already eliminating that one time of cutting the image clarity in half. I'm eliminating that by starting off with a higher base mag. And I mean, again, if I'm just going for deer hunting, I'm trying to take out one specific deer at a time. I'm not doing the same thing I do for pigs where you're going for this one and then that one, and it's a numbers game. So that way we can win this war on conservation efforts for Texas. It's a totally different game. So depending on which one of those you want to do, because if you think you're going to be using this digital day for daytime hunting on pigs and you want that lower base magnification, man, you probably want to go with that 50. The way that I hunt, I like to have that. I like that little bit extra base mag for the day, so I want that 55. As far as price difference, this one runs right at $6,000. But if you were to go with the 50, that is going to be right at $5,800. So only $200 difference between the two. There's not going to be that much, $200 on a just shy of $6,000 purchase isn't percentage-wise going to be that much. So I really doubt that $200 is going to be the deal breaker on which one you want. Guys, get the base mag that's going to be best for you. Now, another question that I had for myself when I first heard about this is, will I be able to see the daytime and the nighttime channels in all configurations? For example, can I do thermal main picture and picture-in-picture both in thermal? Can I do that for daytime? Can I do daytime main picture and daytime picture-in-picture? And then can I go thermal, big picture, daytime, tiny picture, picture-in-picture? Can I also go big thermal or big daytime and tiny thermal? And the answer is yes, you can do all of those. So there's no limitation on how you want to look at that. Now, let me tell you where this thing really shines. If you ever hunt in like some river bottom area or just some real thick woods where you can see stuff through a thermal, because you can see that heat, you can see through the trees, through the brush, whatever it is, but when you take that thermal away and you put up a regular standard rifle scope, you can't see anything. That's where this is a true game changer. You can have it in the thermal channel, find your target, and then let's say that you are deer hunting and you want to make sure that you are only there for does this weekend, so we're just going to shoot a doe. You don't want to accidentally shoot, a small buck or something, or that, that big buck has been hanging out in that bottom, and I want to know that I am just gonna get him. Like that's the only one I'm here for, is that big old boy. And so you go down in that bottom where he's supposed to be, and you can see something in your thermal channel, but if you were to just put a regular standard rifle scope, you lose them and you can't find them again. But with this, you can just switch and put both pictures up at the same time. And now you can say, all right, my crosshairs are on this heat signature. Let me study it through my daytime channel and just wait for this thing to finally move so I can tell exactly what that is. Like, yep, that's what I'm going for. Or nope, that ain't it. That's not what we're here for. And you can be able to make that decision in the field about what it is that you're really going after and if you really want to do this. No other scope does that for you. You can understand the world that you're hunting in so much better by being able to see in both channels at the same time without getting lost. It is so much nicer than having to put up a scanner and then grab the scope, or just or trying to figure out, okay, well, it through the scope it was in these areas between those two trees, and now nothing's moving, so I can't tell what's going on over there. No, man, you just hold on and then wait for that thing to move, and you got it. You can see exactly what it is that you're looking at. This is one of those things that I will sit here and ramble trying to explain the benefit of how good this is, and I can't do it well enough without you actually being able to look through it. So I'm definitely going to be playing some footage of that right here, right now. It is just wonderful how much more you can, again, just understand what's going on out there without getting lost in the confusion of switching the way that you see the world. Man, this is the only scope that does that. And that's why this one is just so wonderful. I love this scope. It's great. Now, the next big question that I had is going to be, all right, I love the digital daytime, 4K, good, that's what you ought to do. But how well does it do in low light conditions? Well, that is a downside to it. You know, this is just this little bitty glass right here, this tiny sensor that can only bring in so much light. You know, we're used to deer hunting with a 3x9x40 is like kind of the most standard size optic out there. Maybe a 3x9x50 if you like the bigger pieces of glass. Well, to get that much light brought in, you would have to have another 50 millimeter lens on top of this, and that just looked really weird if you did that. And I just don't see anybody really moving to that yet. Putting up this little extra piece of glass up here is not odd at all. It looks fine. It looks great. And especially in the world of electro optics now, this is a beautiful design, and we could still get this. But being that the lens is so small, guys, if you are hunting in like a deep down in a river bottom where everything is growed up thick and it feels like the sun just doesn't get down in there until at a different time than what is legal shooting light, yeah, you're gonna struggle on seeing through this. There have been times where I've been in a wide open area out in the hill country where I could see everything just fine through a standard traditional glass optical scope, but this one is still struggling even during shooting light hours, but only in those like first few minutes or last few minutes. And so really it's about those 10 minutes of either first or last legal shooting light is what I feel like I've been missing with this one by comparison to a traditional daytime optic. And so those 10 minutes, you've got to decide for yourself, is that okay? For me, I love being able to hit record and save that memory of this hunt way more than I care about those few 10 minutes there. I get it. A trophy buck of a lifetime may walk out and you don't get to be able to see it great in the digital daytime. However, at the same time, you still have the thermal channel, even though it is legal daytime shooting light. It's not illegal to use thermal because it does not emit light. It only sees light. So that's going to have to be something that you're going to have to figure out for yourself. If that's a deal breaker for you, I get it. But man, this thing is so cool. It's worth it. To me, I love being able to have both channels, not changing out scopes, and it records everything seamlessly all through one eyepiece, and I don't have to mess with trying to look through one thing for one data set and then another thing for another data set. No, it's all built in. I love it. All right, team, that's pretty much everything that I really can share with you about this, other than all this extra footage that I'm going to roll in. Paul, again, thank you so much for letting me use this. Guy, and hang on to it for as long as I did. Really, thank you so much. Guys, I'm telling you, that man is wonderful to work with. Go to gearthehunt.com and buy from his company, North Texas Piggins. That guy's going to take dang good care of you. This scope is a workhorse. I love this scope, and I am dreading the day when Paul calls me and says, hey, buddy, I need you to mail it back because I love this thing. It's great. So guys, there is my full review of the Pulsar Thermion Duo DXP. This thing is amazing. I love it. I'm really looking forward to more and more people getting to enjoy using both spectrums of hunting opportunity, daytime digital and thermal, so that way they can just enjoy this sport so much more because guys, it is always hog season. Bye.